After the success of Warzone 1 and Modern Warfare 2019, people were hyped to see what Infinity Ward was cooking. This was after the disaster known as COD Vanguard, a World War II shooter that literally no one asked for, not even Sledgehammer themselves. Needless to say, this game was not a good game. However, what came after was even worse than what we expected. Now, this was one of the most anticipated games of all time, and on October 16th, 2022, the floodgates were open to the public for the beta. I mean, why wouldn't you be hyped for MW2? It has Ghost himself on the cover. The campaign trailer was hype as f. Favorite characters were back. I'm talking about Captain Price, Ghost, Soap. Anyways, this game looked like a banger. However, the first impression for most players was complete disappointment, and we were met with slow-ass ADS time, insane visual recoil, and most noticeable, the movement. The main concern of the player base was the fact you couldn't slide cancel, and the devs were completely aware of this. They believed they wanted to nerf the movement in order to balance the playing field, but skill-based is still there, so I don't understand why. Anyways, people were desperate to get their beloved slide canceling back, and there were a lot of people trying to make workarounds.
I hate slide canceling. Maybe Activision was right. This sucks ass. Other than destroying the movement and pace of the game, Infinity Ward took it one step further and removed name tags from people. In response, they told the community they don't like change. They want, they like change, but they want stuff to, change. They don't want to go back old. So you know what they said? They said they want you to use your eyes and not look at name tags. They told you to kill essentially, because the visibility was complete ass. After a few months of people hating on the goddamn visibility, the devs decided to, add this small-ass little diamond above their head, and then they only show up half the time for no reason at all. And sometimes the teammates' name tags are over the enemies, and you would literally die because you thought they were your teammate.
The gameplay on MW2 was genuinely awful. Smooth movement was a thing of the past, the visibility was garbage, and worst of all, the TTK. Every gun would kill you in 2 to 3 shots regardless of range. If you threw a headshot, you could also 1 to 2 shot enemies. The overly fast time to kill meant a lot of players cowered in corners to the point where the camping was even worse than Modern Warfare 2019.
Devs refused to update the game when the players hated the design choices. There was lack of content from Infinity Ward as well. Like, there's not that much things being added per season. One thing I gotta say is that some of the maps in Modern Warfare 2 were actually good. We got Greenberg Hotel, Mercados Los Alamos, and Crown Raceway were all pretty good maps. But some maps were complete ass. Most noticeably, that border crossing map, you literally couldn't play this map for 5 seconds because you would get blown up by cars. And then, Turok, that shit ass too, man. I don't even want to talk about Turok. It's so ass. Even if the maps you were playing on were decent, Infinity Ward literally did everything in their power to slow down everything you do. Your attachments, ADS speed reduced. Yeah, you're just completely slow. The worst feature of the game was perk packages. Perk packages were so ass because you would have to wait for the entire match to earn your cool ass perks, and you wouldn't have sleight of hand for the first 2 to 3 minutes of the match, so your hands were reloading really slow.
The seasonal content in this game was very dry for over half of the game's life cycle. This was because Infinity Ward wanted this game to be a mill sim with ultra-realistic characters. The cosmetics in the early days of MW2 were mostly just oriented towards a mill sim type game. You rarely got any silly skins because it didn't feel right according to Infinity Ward. There was no tracers within the first few seasons, but then they added the Season 3 Black Cell Battle Pass. This finally opened the floodgates to create unrealistic shit that the community actually wanted, so good on you, Infinity Ward. Now fix the f***ing movement, please. This shit is ass. Another glaring issue with the seasonal content was when they removed a map that was in the beta of the game and then added it back as new content. This was f***ing lazy, but hey, at least Valdera's Museum was a good map to play. Even if you wanted to go for Orion camo, you wouldn't have a bad time for the most part getting gold or polyatomic. However, the platinum challenges were complete torture. They wanted you to get over 1,000 long shots, which took forever.
Now, if I spend any more time complaining about Modern Warfare 2, this video will be a few hours long. So I got a simple list of things that I hate and I just dislike about this game. There's casuals everywhere! The battlegrounds in Season 1 sucks ass! That's the hardcore approach! This game literally thinks it's extremely portal! Why? There's 3 of the guns season and the campaign! This ultimate section sucks ass! These master camos, this is updates to the game! Those DMC have a pay-to-win option! Those level 2 not transfer, there will be 3 years of content! This game was even 2 years! They haven't released Modern Warfare 3!
Get me out of the game! Who the said the TTK is not like it's too fast, man? Shut the up!
October of 2023, we finally got to play the newly released addition to the reboot of the Modern Warfare series, Modern Warfare 3. This game was basically a $70 DLC or hotfix to all the problems of Modern Warfare 2. The catch was that all your cosmetics from the prior game, so skins, calling card, and other bullshit, they all carried over, unlike Warzone 1, which it would have been nice if I could have kept all my from there, but at least I could take my things with me into a new game. The beta was actually a lot of fun too, and it showcased the improvements made by Sledgehammer Games. The most obvious improvement was the movement. The running speed was faster, jumping was higher, and most importantly, slide canceling was actually back. Rather than being an exploit to refresh your tac screen, it was a way to evade enemy bullets, but also a good way to get around the map, kind of faster. The beta also showed that we would receive good communication from Sledgehammer, as they were actively fixing and balancing things that were wrong with the game. Modern Warfare 3 also added back the name tags to improve the visibility for the players. The gunplay was also better, as we didn't have to experience a 5.3 magnitude earthquake when firing a gun. 150 HP also proved to be a good addition to the game, as you finally had a chance to fight back if you were under fire.
The live service portion of Modern Warfare 3 is actually quite good in terms of content. There is always something going on with the game to, keep players playing. Either it's a new map, new gun, new operator, or my personal favorite new features, event camos or weekly challenges to get another camo. The in-game cosmetics are good since launch, as it embraces identity of, not really have identity. It kind of feels like the best of Modern Warfare games or Sledgehammer type games, which I personally don't mind. There are also new challenges every week to earn an aftermarket part, which modifies your gun to do something unrecognizable.
Oh, yo! In terms of progression such as unlocks or camos, this game also has you covered. Aside from the traditional unlock shit, at when you level up to 55, you also have armory unlocks starting at level 25. So essentially this allows you to skip leveling up and do daily challenges or get wins instead, so you can unlock the perks, attachments, guns, equipment, whatever you need really. Now at the beginning of the game's lifespan, doing these seemed like a way to make players stay on longer. That was before they made it so you can get wins to count for your daily challenges. And I hated this system, but Sledgehammer actually listened and made a really good improvement. And the camo system was also an improvement from the year before. Although the system from MW2 really wasn't that bad to begin with, Sledgehammer just made the challenges more fun so you could actually grind camos without ripping your hair out.
But not only did Sledgehammer make camo grinding fun, they even added more ways of obtaining camos, introducing the latest way to get camos, weapon prestige camos. You play with a gun long enough, and you might make it look really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like Obsidian from MW19. But what if you missed events or seasonal camos and want to challenge yourself into a mastery camo? Well, thankfully Sledgehammer cooked with 2 mastery camos that you can get in Modern Warfare 3. The multiplayer mastery camo Interstellar looks really cool and definitely would be worth your time. The second mastery camo is from Zombies, and it's debatable if it looks better than Interstellar. It's the Borealis camo. It looks really great and easier to grind for. Speaking of zombies, the third mode in this game is actually pretty cool. Initially I was skeptical about it because it wasn't round based like traditional zombies, but this mode has grown on me. It takes the fun things about DMZ, but makes it better as you don't have to fight sweaty tryhards while trying to pack a punch your gun. The contracts are also pretty simple, as you can find them on the map, ping them, go towards them, and do a pretty simple task that they assign you. You can also get a cool reward and money to spend on Pack-a-Punch. You can also go into higher difficulty zones to achieve better rewards and just get better overall. This is a unique take on the genre, and I'm looking forward to getting into Modern Warfare 3 Zombies more. The maps are also an improvement and show that Sledgehammer can not only make a good game, but also just make good maps in general. Sure, the MW2 2009 maps are all here, but only a handful of those are actually good, so almost all of the original maps made for Modern Warfare 3 are actually really solid. They all flow well, and they have great pace, so it's never too campy.
And, The perk system in Modern Warfare 3 makes sense. You now get all of your perks right off the bat, instead of, waiting the entire match for them. And after crying about it for a few years, we finally got Dead Silence as a perk and Covert Sneakers. No longer is it just a field upgrade. As in Modern Warfare 2019, it was a field upgrade. Modern Warfare 2, it was just a field upgrade again. But, this seems to be an Infinity Ward skill issue, because Treyarch and Sledgehammer both gave us Silent Footsteps perks as an option. They also changed the way that perks work in this game, which isn't a bad change at all. The vest system is cool, and apparently acts as the pick 10 system that Sledgehammer was trying to do. The gears are pretty cool and simple. This game's perk system isn't the greatest, but it's not terrible. This game also seems to run better than Modern Warfare 2, mainly in multiplayer mode though, because zombies in Warzone still run like shit.
Speaking of Warzone, it's actually quite fun this year with the improved mechanics and gunplay. It's actually pretty fun to play. Sure, sometimes you only get 50 FPS on Urzikstan if you're standing like downtown or something, but the base game itself is pretty enjoyable. We also had fan favorite maps returned from Warzone 1, those being Fortune's Keep and Rebirth Island. There's also rumors that Verdansk might come back with the new Black Ops game, so we just have to wait and see. Other than having all these great game features, Ricochet Anti-Cheat was also something that finally worked after 3 years of it being garbage. Who the is this guy?
It's Ricochet, motherfucker! You think you can walk through my game? You think you can walk my camels and do nothing about it? Dude, get out of my car, dude!